The Deep Space Monitoring Station in Antarctica was quiet that night, as it had been for the past 15 years since its construction. Tom Baker sat at his station, sipping lukewarm coffee while staring at the endless streams of data flowing across his screens. The midnight shift was always the loneliest, but he didn't mind. The silence helped him focus. At exactly 3:47 a.m. Earth Standard Time, everything changed. The first signal came as a faint blip, barely distinguishable from the background noise of space. Tom almost missed it, but years of experience had taught him to notice even the smallest anomalies. He sat up straighter, placing his coffee mug down as he adjusted the receiving parameters. The blip became stronger. "This can't be right," he muttered, running a quick diagnostic on the system. The signal was coming from beyond the Kuiper Belt, far beyond any human spacecraft's current position. Its pattern was too regular to be natural, too complex to be random space noise. Tom's hands shook as he reached for the red phone, the direct line to NASA headquarters. "This is Deep Space Station Omega. We have a code blue. I repeat, code blue. Artificial signal detected from beyond the Kuiper Belt." Within an hour, every major space agency on Earth was aware of the signal. Scientists and analysts from around the world connected to the Antarctic Station's feeds, studying the mysterious transmission. Among them was Dr. James Miller, NASA's leading linguist and expert in theoretical alien communications. James had spent his entire career preparing for this moment, though he'd never truly believed it would come. He sat in his hastily prepared office at NASA's main facility, surrounded by screens displaying various analyses of the signal. "It's definitely a language," he told the room full of officials and scientists. "The pattern is too structured to be anything else, but it's unlike anything we've ever seen before." Days turned into weeks as James and his team worked tirelessly to decode the message. They used every available supercomputer, every theoretical model of alien communication they had developed over the years. Progress was slow, but steady. The breakthrough came on a Tuesday morning, exactly 23 days after the signal was first detected. James was reviewing the latest computer analysis when he noticed something familiar in the pattern. The aliens weren't just sending random messages, they were broadcasting mathematical constants. "They're using universal mathematical principles as a foundation for communication," he explained to the gathered officials. "Pi, the golden ratio, prime numbers. They're creating a basic language using concepts that would be familiar to any technologically advanced species." With this key insight, the decoding process accelerated rapidly. Within hours, they had their first partial translation. The message was both amazing and alarming. Emergency, 317 ships, 50,000 souls, systems failing. Trapped. Need assistance. Location Folos. The revelation sent shockwaves through Earth's governments. An alien fleet, larger than humanity's combined space forces, was stranded in space and asking for help. The coordinates indicated they were trapped in a region just beyond the Kuiper Belt, explaining the strength of their signal. James worked through the night as more detailed messages came in. The aliens explained that they had encountered an unknown phenomenon that had disabled their advanced technology. Their ships, powered by sophisticated quantum systems, were almost completely non-functional. Life support was running on backup power, but it wouldn't last forever. "They're dying out there," James told the emergency meeting of the United Nations Space Council. "Their technology is far more advanced than ours, but something in that region of space has rendered it useless. They're trapped, and they're running out of time." The council chamber erupted in debate. Some argued for caution, suggesting this could be a trap. Others pushed for immediate action, seeing this as humanity's chance to prove itself to the galaxy. James stood at the podium, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Whatever we decide, we need to decide quickly. According to their messages, they have less than 6 months of life support remaining. If we're going to help them, we need to start planning now." As the council debated, more signals arrived from the stranded fleet. Each message painted a clearer picture of their desperate situation. Humanity faced its first major test as a spacefaring species. Could they save an advanced alien civilization using their primitive technology? The clock was ticking, and 50,000 alien lives hung in the balance. 2 months after the first distress signal, Earth's most advanced spacecraft, the TSS Hope, approached the edge of the Kuiper Belt. Captain Robert Stone stood on the bridge, watching as the distant stars glimmered against the endless black of space. His ship represented humanity's best effort at interstellar diplomacy, a vessel built through unprecedented international cooperation. "Final system check complete," announced Mike, the ship's engineer. "All analog systems are functioning perfectly. No signs of the phenomenon affecting our equipment yet." The TSS Hope had been specifically designed for this mission, equipped with both modern technology and old-fashioned mechanical backup systems. The crew of 12 had been carefully selected from space agencies worldwide, chosen not just for their skills, but for their ability to think creatively in crisis situations. "Contact in 30 minutes, reported Anna, the navigation officer. On the main screen, they could see the first faint outlines of the alien fleet, hundreds of massive ships floating silently in the void. As they drew closer, the true scale of the situation became clear. The alien vessels were enormous, each one larger than Earth's biggest aircraft carriers. Their design was unlike anything humans had ever conceived, with smooth, almost organic-looking surfaces that seemed to shimmer even without power. "Beginning transmission of greeting message," said Tom, the communications officer. They had prepared a simple message using the mathematical language developed during the past months of communication. The response was immediate. A beam of light shot from the nearest alien ship, projecting a holographic image in the middle of the Hope's bridge. The crew gasped as they saw their first alien, a tall, humanoid figure with iridescent skin and large, expressive eyes. "Welcome, humans," the figure spoke, its words automatically translated by their computers. "I am First Navigator White Star of the Unity Fleet. We are grateful for your response to our distress call." Captain Stone stepped forward. "We're here to help. I'm Captain Robert Stone of the Earth vessel TSS Hope. Can you explain what happened to your fleet?" The alien's expression shifted in a way that suggested deep concern. "We were traveling through this sector when our ship suddenly lost power. All our quantum-based technology simply stopped working. We are trapped in this region, unable to escape. Even our backup systems are failing." "Can you tell us more about this phenomenon?" asked Mike, stepping closer to the hologram. "Our instruments are detecting unusual energy patterns in the area." White Star nodded. "We've never encountered anything like it. It's as if the quantum field itself is being disrupted. Our most advanced technology is useless here." The alien paused, studying the human ship with visible curiosity. "Your vessel, it appears to be functioning normally. How is this possible?" Captain Stone allowed himself a small smile. "We're using what you might consider outdated technology. Chemical rockets, mechanical systems, analog backups. Sometimes the old ways are the most reliable." The conversation continued for hours as both sides shared information. The Unity Fleet, they learned, was one of the most advanced civilizations in their part of the galaxy. They had long since abandoned primitive mechanical technology in favor of quantum systems. This had left them completely vulnerable when their advanced systems failed. "Our life support systems are operating on emergency power," White Star explained. "We have perhaps 4 months remaining before they fail completely. Our population of 50,000 includes families, children. We won't let that happen," Captain Stone assured them. "Earth is already mobilizing its resources. We're going to get your people out of here." As the initial meeting concluded, the crew of the Hope began their survey of the disabled fleet. The scale of the rescue operation would be unprecedented. They would need to evacuate 50,000 aliens from massive ships using Earth's relatively small vessels. "It's going to be the biggest rescue operation in human history," Mike commented as they worked. But we can do it. We have to. Captain Stone nodded, watching as his crew began taking readings and making calculations. The aliens might have more advanced technology, but humanity had something just as valuable: the ability to adapt, to use whatever tools were available to solve problems. As the first day of contact drew to a close, both humans and aliens knew that this was just the beginning. The real challenges lay ahead, but for the first time since their ships had become trapped, the Unity fleet had something they'd almost lost: hope. Earth's first major interaction with an alien civilization would be a rescue mission. It wasn't how anyone had imagined first contact would happen, but perhaps it was fitting. After all, what better way to introduce humanity to the galaxy than by showing their determination to help others in need? The Unity engineers watched in disbelief as Mike demonstrated how to repair their life support systems using mechanical parts from the TSS Hope. Their advanced technology might be useless, but simple pressure valves and mechanical pumps could keep their air flowing. "This is primitive," said Engineer Greenlight, watching Mike work. "But it functions perfectly in this disruption field. How did we never consider keeping such basic systems as backup?" Mike grinned as he tightened a bolt with an ordinary wrench. Sometimes the simplest solution is the best one. These systems have been reliable on Earth for over a century. Across the massive alien vessel, human engineers were working alongside Unity crew members, teaching them how to maintain and repair mechanical systems. The contrast between the two civilizations' approaches to technology couldn't have been more striking. "Look here," Mike explained, pointing to a manual pressure gauge he'd installed. No computer chips, no quantum technology, just basic physics. Pressure builds up, needle moves. Simple and reliable. The Unity crew members were quick learners, though they struggled with concepts their civilization had abandoned generations ago. They had to relearn basic mechanical principles that human children understood from playing with toys. Meanwhile, on Earth, the largest space operation in human history was taking shape. Every nation with space capability was contributing resources. Shipyards worked around the clock to build rescue vessels. Even old space shuttles were being brought out of retirement and refitted for the mission. Back on the Unity flagship, Captain Stone met with White Star to discuss the rescue plan. "We've modified several of our cargo ships to carry your people," he explained. "They're not as comfortable as your vessels, but they'll get the job done." White Star studied the human designs displayed on a simple paper chart. They couldn't use their holographic systems. "These vessels seem so basic. Are they truly capable of interstellar travel?" "They'll get your people to safety," Stone assured him. "We're also working on a way to tow some of your smaller ships out of the disruption field. Once they're clear, you can restore power and continue your journey." The Unity leader was quiet for a moment. "We have long considered Earth a developing world, far behind our level of advancement. Yet here you are, saving us with technology we thought obsolete. Perhaps we have much to learn from your people." As the days passed, more human ships arrived, each bringing supplies and rescue equipment. The Unity crew watched in amazement as humans solved problems with simple tools and basic physics that their advanced computers couldn't handle. One of the most successful innovations came from Anna, the Hope's navigation officer. She developed a method to navigate through the disruption field using simple celestial navigation, the same technique ancient sailors had used on Earth's oceans. "See these stars?" she explained to a group of Unity navigators. "They're like signposts. With basic trigonometry and a sextant, we can plot our position without any need for quantum sensors." The aliens were particularly impressed by the human habit of having backup plans for their backup plans. Every system had a mechanical alternative. Every tool had a manual replacement. "Your species seems to always prepare for failure," observed Greenlight during a break from repairs. "Is this not inefficient?" Mike laughed as he wiped grease from his hands. "We learned the hard way that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Better to have options when things break down." The rescue operation was proceeding faster than expected. Already, Several hundred Unity crew members had been evacuated to human ships waiting outside the disruption field. The mechanical systems installed by the human engineers were keeping the remaining ships stable. "Your people have achieved something remarkable," White Star told Captain Stone as they watched another rescue ship depart. "You've shown us that progress isn't always about advancing to more complex solutions. Sometimes it's about remembering the reliable basics." Stone nodded, looking out at the fleet of human ships working tirelessly to save their new alien allies. "We may not have quantum drives or holographic displays, but we know how to adapt and survive. That's humanity's real strength." As the third week of the rescue operation drew to a close, both species had learned valuable lessons. The Unity gained a new appreciation for simple, reliable technology, while humanity proved that sometimes being less advanced could be an advantage. What nobody realized yet was that the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The phenomenon trapping the Unity fleet wasn't natural, and its true nature would soon test both civilizations in ways they never expected. A month into the rescue operation, alarm bells rang throughout the human fleet. Life support systems on the largest Unity vessels were failing faster than predicted. The mechanical patches were holding, but they couldn't maintain the massive ships indefinitely. "We're losing pressure in sections 3 through 7, reported Mike, studying the gauges they'd installed across the Unity flagship. The systems weren't designed to run on mechanical backup for this long. Captain Stone stood in the makeshift control room, surrounded by both human and Unity crew members. The original evacuation timeline had just been cut in half. They now had less than 2 months to rescue over 40,000 remaining aliens. "We need more ships," Stone said, his voice tense but controlled. "Contact Earth. Tell them to send everything that can fly, even if it's not fully equipped for space travel. We can modify them here." The response from Earth was immediate and overwhelming. Every nation began converting cargo planes into basic space vessels. Aircraft carriers became emergency launch platforms. Private space companies donated their entire fleets. In orbit around Earth, a massive staging area formed as ships of all sizes and types gathered for the rescue mission. It was the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled, a testament to what they could achieve when united by a common purpose. Back at the Unity fleet, the situation grew more desperate by the day. The aliens had to abandon entire sections of their ships as life support failed. They crowded into the remaining functional areas, making do with less and less space. "How do your people remain so calm?" White Star asked Stone, watching humans and aliens work together to repair another failing system. "Your technology is limited, your resources stretched thin, yet you continue as if success is certain." Stone helped a group of crew members lift a heavy mechanical pump into place. "Because giving up isn't an option. Humanity has faced impossible odds before. We've learned that persistence often matters more than probability." The rescue ships worked in a continuous cycle, ferrying aliens to safety beyond the disruption field. Each trip took precious time, but they couldn't risk sending too many ships at once through the treacherous space. Anna had mapped safe corridors through the disruption field using her celestial navigation techniques, marking them with simple beacon buoys. These paths became lifelines, the only reliable routes in and out of the affected zone. "Another section failing," called out Mike from his station. "We need to evacuate B deck immediately." Unity crew members moved with practiced efficiency, having learned from weeks of similar emergencies. They helped their families and colleagues to the waiting human ships, carrying only what they could hold in their arms. The sight of alien children clutching their precious belongings hit close to home for many human crew members. Despite their exotic appearance, their fear and courage were perfectly human. "Tell engineering to divert more power to C deck," ordered Stone. "We can't lose another section, not with so many still waiting for evacuation." The human ships, despite their simplicity, proved remarkably reliable. Their chemical rockets and mechanical systems were immune to the disruption field's effects. What they lacked in sophistication, they made up for in durability. Mike worked with Unity engineers to cannibalize parts from abandoned sections, using them to reinforce the remaining functional areas. Every piece of working equipment became precious as more systems failed. "Look at this," said Greenlight, holding up a simple mechanical timer. "A device so basic, yet it's helping save our most advanced ships." We had forgotten that complexity isn't always the answer. The pressure on the rescue teams was immense. Every hour brought new challenges as more systems failed. They worked in shifts, catching sleep when they could, driven by the knowledge that thousands of lives depended on their efforts. "Status report," Stone called out during another crisis meeting. 15,000 evacuated so far," Anna responded. 25,000 remaining. "At current speed, we'll need another 6 weeks to get everyone out." "The ships won't last that long," Mike added grimly. "We have 4 weeks at most before total system failure." Stone looked at the tired faces around him, both human and alien. They had achieved the impossible already, but it wasn't enough. They needed to move faster, work harder, find new solutions. "Then we have 4 weeks to do 6 weeks of work," he said firmly. "We'll find a way. We always do." What none of them realized was that the next few days would bring a discovery that would change everything, and reveal why the Unity fleet had really become trapped in this remote corner of space. The discovery came during a routine sensor sweep. Anna was mapping another safe corridor through the disruption field when her instruments detected something unusual. "Captain, you need to see this," she called out, pointing to her screen. "The disruption field. It has a pattern to it." Stone leaned over her station, studying the readings from their simple electromagnetic sensors. What they had thought was random interference showed subtle but distinct regularities. "This isn't natural," Mike said, looking over their shoulders. "These patterns, they're too precise, too organized." They brought their findings to White Star and the Unity science team. The aliens studied the data using the basic displays the humans had installed, their expressions growing increasingly troubled. "This is impossible," Greenlight muttered. "The field, it's artificial. Someone created this trap." The word trap sent a chill through the command center. Stone looked out the viewport at the massive fleet of disabled ships. "You're saying someone deliberately disabled your vessels?" White Star's silvery skin paled slightly. "There are stories, legends really, of ancient defense systems left by long-vanished civilizations. We always dismissed them as myths." Further sensor sweeps revealed more evidence. Hidden among the asteroids at the edge of the disruption field, they found strange devices, barely visible to their instruments. These machines were generating the field that had trapped the Unity fleet. "The technology is unlike anything we've ever seen," Mike reported after analyzing the readings, "but it's definitely the source of our problems." A new tension filled the rescue operation. They weren't just racing against failing life support systems anymore. They were dealing with an ancient trap that had snared one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. "Why didn't we detect these devices before?" Anna asked during an emergency meeting. "Because we weren't looking," Stone replied. "We were so focused on the rescue that we never questioned why this was happening in the first place." The Unity leaders shared what little they knew about the legends. Stories told of an ancient race that had seeded the galaxy with traps, designed to disable any civilization that grew too dependent on advanced technology. They believed that true wisdom came from maintaining balance between progress and simplicity, White Star explained. These traps were meant to teach that lesson. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Humanity's primitive technology had turned out to be their greatest advantage, allowing them to function where the Unity's advanced systems failed completely. "Can we disable these devices?" Stone asked Mike. The engineer shook his head. "Not easily. They're protected by the same field they're generating. Any advanced technology we try to use against them would just shut down." "Then we use simple technology," Anna suggested. "The same way we've been solving everything else." They began developing a plan. While the evacuation continued, A team would attempt to destroy or disable the field generators using purely mechanical means. No computers, no quantum systems, nothing that could be affected by the disruption field. It's risky, Mike warned. If we damage those devices the wrong way, the field could intensify. We could lose everything. But they had no choice. The Unity ships were failing faster than they could evacuate them. Their only hope was to disable the trap and allow the aliens to restore power to their vessels. Stone assembled a small team for the mission. They would use a modified shuttle, stripped down to bare mechanics, to approach the nearest field generator. "We'll only get one shot at this," he told his crew. "If we fail, we'll have to evacuate everyone the hard way. And we don't have time for that." White Star watched the humans prepare for their mission with a mixture of hope and concern. "Your people take great risks for us." Why? Stone checked the simple tools they would use: basic explosives, mechanical timers, manual controls. Because that's what humans do. We help people in trouble, and we don't let impossible odds stop us. As they prepared for the mission, more Unity ships reported critical failures. They had perhaps 2 weeks before the entire fleet would become uninhabitable. The fate of 50,000 aliens now rested on humanity's ability to defeat an ancient alien technology using nothing more complex than wrenches and explosives. The mission would launch in 6 hours. Success would mean salvation for the Unity fleet. Failure would mean disaster, and somewhere out in the darkness, the ancient machines waited. The modified shuttle approached the first field generator, its engines running on pure mechanical power. Inside, Stone and Mike worked the manual controls while Anna tracked their position using basic instruments. "Range to target, 2 kilometers," Anna reported, using an old-fashioned sextant to measure their distance. The generator should be visible soon. Through the front viewport, they caught their first glimpse of the ancient device. It was surprisingly small, barely larger than their shuttle, its surface covered in strange geometric patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "No wonder the Unity ships didn't spot these," Mike said, checking their mechanical gauges. "They're practically invisible to advanced sensors." The plan was simple but dangerous. They would place explosive charges at key points around the generator, using mechanical timers to detonate them simultaneously. The explosion would either destroy the device or at least disrupt its field enough to free the Unity fleet. "Beginning approach," Stone announced, using manual thrusters to maneuver closer. "Mike, prepare the charges." Back at the Unity fleet, White Star and the remaining aliens watched through telescopes as the tiny human shuttle approached their ancient captor. The fate of their entire civilization rested on this desperate mission. "Deploying Charge 1," Mike reported, using a mechanical arm to place the first explosive. The device was essentially a modern version of dynamite. Powerful, but completely non-electronic. They had placed 3 charges when their shuttle's warning bell rang. A simple mechanical alarm triggered by pressure changes. "Something's wrong," Anna called out. "The field. It's shifting." The generator had sensed their presence. The geometric patterns on its surface began rotating faster, and the disruption field intensified around them. "Manual controls still responding," Stone reported, fighting with the shuttle's stick. "But we're losing hydraulic pressure." The shuttle shuddered as the field tried to tear it apart. Even their simplified systems were starting to fail under the increased strain. "We need to place the last charge now," Mike said, struggling with the mechanical arm. "Before we lose everything." Stone pushed the shuttle closer, ignoring the groaning of metal around them. They had one chance to get this right. If they failed, the Unity fleet would be doomed. "Charge in position," Mike shouted as he placed the final explosive. "Timers set. All ships, clear the area." Stone broadcast on their emergency radio. "Detonation in 2 minutes." The shuttle's engines sputtered as they turned to escape. The strengthening field was affecting even their simplified systems now. Warning bells rang throughout the cabin as more systems began to fail. "We're losing power," Anna reported. "Main engine pressure dropping." Stone fought with the controls, trying to squeeze every bit of thrust from their failing engines. The generator loomed behind them, its pattern spinning faster and faster as the timers counted down. 1 minute to detonation, Mike called out, watching their simple mechanical clock. We're not moving fast enough. The shuttle shuddered again as another system failed. They were barely maintaining forward momentum now, still dangerously close to the blast zone. 30 seconds. Stone looked at his crew, then at the generator behind them. They had come too far to fail now. He reached for the emergency boost lever, their last resort. "Hold on," he shouted, pulling the lever. The shuttle lurched forward as compressed gas shot from emergency tanks, propelling them away from the generator. The acceleration crushed them into their seats as they raced against time. 10 seconds. 5. Brace for impact. The explosion lit up space like a new star. The shockwave hit their shuttle moments later, sending it tumbling through space. Emergency stabilizers, simple gyroscopes, helped them regain control. As the light faded, they turned to look back at where the generator had been. Through the shuttle's viewport, they saw only debris. "Did it work?" Anna asked, checking their instruments. Their answer came from the radio. "Human shuttle, this is Unity flagship." White Star's voice was filled with excitement. "Our systems, they're restarting. The field is collapsing." Cheers erupted throughout both fleets as the Unity ships began powering up for the first time in months. The ancient trap had finally been broken by the simplest of human solutions. But their celebration was cut short by Anna's voice. "Captain, the other generators. They're activating. All of them. At once." They had won their first victory, but the real battle was just beginning. The ancient defense system wasn't going to let its prey escape so easily. As the remaining field generators activated, a new crisis unfolded. The disruption field began pulsing with increasing strength, threatening both human and Unity vessels. "All ships, fall back." Stone ordered over the emergency channel. The human rescue fleet began retreating, their simple engines straining against the intensifying field. White Star's voice crackled over the radio. "Our systems are failing again. The field, it's stronger than before." The Unity ships that had briefly regained power were shutting down once more. But this time, something was different. The ancient defense system wasn't just disabling their technology. It was pulling them toward the remaining generators. "It's a containment protocol," Mike realized, studying their mechanical sensors. "The system is trying to trap all advanced technology in the area." Stone looked out at the massive fleet of stranded ships. They had come too far to lose everything now. An idea formed in his mind. Dangerous, but possibly their only chance. "All human ships, listen carefully," he broadcast. "We're going to overload the remaining generators. Every ship with mechanical explosives. Prepare for simultaneous detonation." The plan was audacious. The human fleet would split into teams, each targeting a different generator. They would attack all remaining devices at once, overwhelming the ancient system before it could adapt. "Unity fleet, power down all systems immediately," Stone ordered. "The less advanced technology active, the weaker its hold on you will be." The aliens complied, their ships going dark one by one. The human fleet moved into position, using only basic thrusters and manual controls. "All teams in position," Anna reported, tracking their allies with simple radar. "Awaiting your command." Stone took a deep breath. Everything depended on perfect timing. "Begin countdown. All ships, deploy charges on my mark." The generator's pattern spun faster, as if sensing the threat. The disruption field pulsed stronger, trying to disable even the humans' simplified systems. "Mark." Across the battlefield, human ships deployed their explosives. Each generator was surrounded by simple but powerful charges, all set to detonate together. 30 seconds to detonation, Mike called out. "The field is still intensifying." The Unity ships began drifting toward the generators, pulled by the strengthening field. Some of the human vessels were struggling too, their mechanical systems straining against the force. 15 seconds. Stone watched the countdown on their mechanical clock. They had one chance to end this. If they failed, both fleets would be trapped forever. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Space lit up with multiple explosions. The generators shattered simultaneously, their ancient technology finally overcome by humanity's simple solution. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, one by one, the Unity ships began powering up. The disruption field was gone, destroyed along with its generators. Cheers erupted across both fleets. The human rescue ships began returning to help the Unity vessels restore full power and prepare for departure. White Star's image appeared on their simple video screen. Captain Stone, humanity has done the impossible. You've saved not just our fleet, but proved that true advancement means balancing progress with wisdom. The rescue operation transformed into a celebration as the Unity fleet regained full functionality. The aliens were amazed to find that their brush with disaster had taught them valuable lessons about technology and resilience. We've modified our ships, Greenlight told Mike during the farewell ceremony. Added mechanical backups to all critical systems. Never again will we be so vulnerable. The Unity's governing council made an unprecedented decision. They offered Earth full membership in their galactic alliance, along with access to their advanced technology. But we hope you'll teach us as well, White Star told Stone. Your people's innovation, your ability to solve problems with simple solutions, these are qualities our civilization needs to relearn. As the Unity fleet prepared to depart, now fully functional and wiser from their experience, Stone stood on his shuttle's bridge one last time. Humanity's first contact with alien life. Anna mused. And we spent it fixing their ships with wrenches and dynamite. Stone smiled. Sometimes the oldest solutions are the best ones. We proved that being less advanced doesn't mean being less capable. The Unity fleet departed in a spectacular display of restored quantum technology, leaving behind a changed humanity. Earth had not only gained powerful allies, but had proven itself worthy of joining the galactic community. And somewhere in the vast emptiness of space, the remains of the ancient defense system drifted silently, its final lesson taught. That true wisdom lies not in the complexity of one's tools, but in knowing when to use them. The end.